In the fall of 1955, one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever strike Belize was Hurricane Janet. The untold stories of Sarteneja that tore through the region, leaving behind a swath of catastrophic destruction that would forever change the lives of those who lived through it. In late September 1955, weather report began to track a growing storm in the Caribbean Sea. Hurricane Janet quickly intensified, becoming one of the strongest hurricanes on record. Our main focus is on infrastructure, economic, and psychological impact this hurricane caused on Sarteneja.
As we know, this Category 5 hurricane struck Sarteneja with a devastating force. Now we're going to look to some of the things that were affected in Sarteneja by the Hurricane Janet. So one of the main things that were affected was the infrastructure. As we interviewed one of the persons who eyewitnessed this catastrophe, we were able to know that everything in Sardinia was destroyed, including the houses made of thatch, the trees, the farms, even the animals, because they used to grow animals in their farms. And we were also able to know that the only buildings that were left standing were the school where the villagers went to find refuge, the police station, and the clinic, because these buildings were made up of concrete. And so these villagers were suffering after the Hurricane Janet, and they were able to tell us that after this hurricane struck Sarteneja, it looked completely like a desert, like a desert. So people had to wait until the government could send help, and after these people lost their houses, the government gave them the help so that they could build new houses made up of rocks. And until now, there is the evidence of these houses made up of rocks that these people could get from the government. And now we have some real words from the person who eyewitnessed everything that happened throughout this catastrophe.
Sarteneja was left a desert. There was not a single tree, nor a single house. Only 3 houses made out of concrete, which were the school, the police station, and the clinic.
And how did the villagers recover their homes after that hurricane?
The government gave help only with materials so they could build their houses. So all the villagers gathered together to help each other build their houses.
Hurricane Janet has impacted the life of those Sarteneja residents who experienced it. It has also impacted the life of the present generations, who are the ones that are able to now share us about the untold stories of this rat and how it affected them. Hurricane Janet severely affected Sarteneja economically. So back in the days, Sarteneja residents used to depend a lot on agriculture. And then when Hurricane Janet came, these residents looked really affected, because mainly the farmers, as I said, because they're the ones who crop, right? So then they were the ones that were affected, and because the hurricane brought strong tidal waves, and the water was first to be pushed out, and then it went inland. So then, since it's seawater, it contains a lot of salt, and then after the hurricane, when the water had already dried, it made the soil become infertile, and that's why farmers were not able to plant their crops afterward. So now we have Mr. Jason with us, who is going to tell us more about it.
Based on the interviews I have done with our elders in our community, I got to know that Sarteneja was severely affected by this hurricane economically, and so what they said was that after Hurricane Janet, as we know, or during Hurricane Janet, the hurricane brought a tidal wave or storm surge of approximately 8 feet of water. So this water entered the inland area and the agricultural lands of our community, and actually destroyed the agricultural grounds that we had. And after the hurricane, after the water receded, most of the salinity of the water stayed on the land, causing the plants and the trees and fruit trees and whatever they were growing at that time to stop producing the way how it was produced before then, or how it was grown. So this affected the salinity of the waters, affected the agricultural lands, and this made it a little bit difficult for the villagers to actually plant after Hurricane Janet. So the water and the land, was actually not suitable for agriculture at this time after Hurricane Janet. So this hurricane actually,
So the soil became fertile.
Infertile.
And you were mentioning something about that it had to pass like 7 years.
Well, it was people said my grandparents actually told me that the land was infertile for some years, and during those years